Now for the conclusion of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Now that you have used the time turner to save your uncle and Buckbeak,
You're going to give it to me to use wisely on my adventures?
No, I'm going to destroy it.
But Professor, wouldn't a time turner be useful, say, when I'm fighting Voldemort, or if I mess up my first kiss with Cho Chang?
Nope. Listen, Horcrux, I believe in you. And you totally can handle problems way too big for someone your age without time travel. See you later.
Alright, Professor, I guess. Hey, why'd you call me Horcrux?
You'll find out in 3 more years.
I don't have money for a fancy title card. It's Tejada's theories. Yeah.
Welcome to class. Now, I hope everyone did the required reading, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. If you didn't, it's okay if you just saw the movie this time. It's not like this is the recent Giver movie or the Percy Jackson 2 movie. Now, if you haven't read the book or seen the movie, shame on you. But it's the same old Harry Potter plot. Harry gets told not to solve a mystery. He tries to solve the mystery anyway. Hermione gives him helpful information for the mystery. He faces the mystery alone, nearly ends up dead, and that's it. Only this time, there's time travel involved. But to be serious, and in case you're rusty on the plot, Prisoner of Azkaban revolves around Harry's hairy godfather, who escapes from the prison called Azkaban. Harry confronts his godfather at the end of the book and realizes that it was all a setup. Sirius is innocent. But before he can clear his name and everything can go back to being good and shiny, his other teacher sees the blood moon, turns into a werewolf, and then Harry and Sirius get chased away into a group of Dementors. Now, if you just watch the movies, I won't explain what a Dementor looks like because they literally change in every film. But the power of the Dementor basically is they can suck out your soul if they kiss you. Harry is mysteriously saved by some person across from the lake where he and Sirius were chased. Later on, Hermione reveals that she can time travel. Yes, we'll get to that very soon. Hermione time travels with Harry to do some other things, but in the process, Harry gets curious and wants to see who saved him from the Dementors. He shows up to that spot and realizes it was him. Harry saves himself from the Dementors. It was a brilliant plot twist that leaves a big plot hole. Hermione time travels with something called a time turner. It allows a user to physically go back in time. She uses it to get to extra classes, but they could have used it for a few other situations. So there must be a reason why they don't. So there are 2 rules, according to the Harry Potter Wiki, which is real and it is big. Rule number 1, you can only time travel up to 5 hours before things get really dangerous. 2, there are a whole bunch of rules and regulations to using the time turners. These 2 rules, while explaining some things, still are not good enough. The 5-hour time limit doesn't work. Yes, these wizards don't have texting to find out information about tragedies very quickly, but they can still teleport across continents. There is plenty of time within 5 hours to use the time turner. The second rule, that there's a whole bunch of rules and regulations to using the time turner, that doesn't work. Wizards and witches in this series always break the rules. Even the one character that loves the rules, worships the rules, constantly breaks them in her own movie. So those 2 reasons are not good enough for them not using the time turner before Azkaban or after. If rules and time didn't apply, then Harry's parents' death would have gone just like this.
Dumbledore, we just found out the Potters were killed 2 hours ago. Get me the time turner. But that's illegal. I would listen to you, but I'm afraid I don't have the time.
Yeah! So there has to be a third reason why they don't use the time turner before or after Prisoner of Azkaban's events. In honor of J.K. Rowling's obsession with threes, I have 3 theories to give you about why they don't use the time turner before or after. Hey, was that a little deja vu I threw at you? Don't worry, time's gonna get a lot more confusing after this. Theory 1, why they don't use the time turner. the butterfly effect. Now, if you haven't seen or heard of the butterfly effect, it's a really creepy Ashton Kutcher movie. When it comes to time travel, it basically means if you go back in time to change something, something else has to change, or there have to be consequences to that change. We see this a little bit more in the book than the movie of Azkaban, but Hermione is more stressed and has more alienation from her friends as a result of going back in time and taking additional classes. Yes, it's a minor consequence, but it still is a negative consequence. That's important to know. Let's up the stakes. Instead of going back in time to take classes, let's say you go back in time to save Harry's parents. So you go back in time, you're a hero. You stop Voldemort before he kills Harry's parents. Good for you. Voldemort gets away and lives to fight another day, but someone else doesn't. He's so pissed that he didn't get to kill Harry's parents and try to kill the Chosen One that he kills another couple completely. Or maybe he kills 100 people. Or maybe he gets so mad, he destroys a Chipotle. If the butterfly effect is a thing in the Harry Potter universe, it makes perfect sense why they don't use time turners before or after this point in the series. If you still doubt it, think of it this way. If Harry and Hermione don't use the time turner at all, then Sirius gets the Dementor's kiss, right? He ends up basically dead. Technically he is alive, but everyone agrees that he's basically dead. Now they go back and save him. 2 years later, instead of ending up basically dead, Sirius ends up actually dead. Is that because they meddled with time? Was Sirius always destined to die? They just delayed it 2 more years? We're not sure. That uncertainty of time travel and what it can do if you mess around with it explains perfectly why they don't mess around with time turners more. The second theory for why they don't use the time turner more? Side effects. You know those drug commercials that promise to heal the one thing wrong with you, but cause more things to be wrong with you? You've seen them. It's like this. Introducing Rip-Off-All. Rip-Off-All will stop your heart attacks, but may cause nausea, stroke, and death. What if the time turner has hidden side effects too? We already see one of them. You get older using the time turner. Now, let's pretend for a moment that you were born the same year, day, month, time, and second that Hermione was born. In that case, happy 37th birthday, you! Once Hermione uses the time turner, she becomes 37 plus all the time she used with the time turner. Why? In this universe, it's shown that you physically travel back in time. That means if you leave time at noon to go back to 11 o'clock, you experience the time between 11 and 12 twice. The first time before you time traveled, the second time after you time traveled. This will make Hermione 1 hour older than you because you didn't experience the time between 11 and 12 twice, just once, because you're normal and don't have access to time travel. Now, getting older is a side effect we know about, that we recognize and can factually figure out. But what if there are other side effects that we don't know about? What if Hermione's stress is not from the schoolwork, but it's just a side effect of using the time turner's magic? What if she gets more paranoid by using the time turner more? What if the time turner's side effect is that you enjoy Chipotle less and less every time you use it? Having horrible side effects that the professors conveniently forgot to mention makes perfect sense in this universe. They seriously do that kind of thing all the time. In any case, this explains why they're so reluctant to use the time turner in situations before this. Sure, it would be irresponsible if there were all these side effects to give it to her just to go to classes, but again, the wizards that are adults in this universe don't always show the best judgment. Maybe they were side effects so minor that 1 year didn't make a difference. After this year, they decide, no more side effect nonsense. We're taking the time turner away so something worse doesn't happen to you. The third theory why they don't use the time turner is a paradox. Literally. Let's go back to the point in the movie where Harry decides to save himself in the past. How does he know to go to the lake and save himself? You say, easy. He saw someone across the lake, so he's going to go to the lake and check it out. Duh, teach. Yes, student. Yes, the one who talks like they're still stuck in the 90s. That's absolutely right. This is what's known as a stable time loop. So, a time traveler does something by going in the past and creates a chain of events that will repeat itself until the end of history. Because Harry goes back in the past and saves himself, he will go back in the past and save himself. It can sound a little confusing, but it makes sense. The time loop has been created. But there's a problem. If Harry needs the knowledge that he was in trouble to start this time loop, how does the time loop start in the first place? I want you to think of the time loop like drawing a circle. A circle has no beginning or no end, just like the time loop. It starts and then it keeps going around and around for eternity. But here's the thing. Circles don't just appear out of nowhere on your pieces of paper. Someone has to draw them. It can't start and begin until someone initially makes that beginning point. So, if we apply this to time travel, who drew the circle? If you agree that circles don't randomly appear on your loose leaf paper, then you agree that Harry can't get stuck in this time loop out of nowhere. Someone had to draw him in. If someone draws him in, there is no paradox. Everything about the time travel in Azkaban makes complete sense. But that does mean we have one dark conclusion. Harry had to receive the Dementor's kiss. I know, you're saying I'm crazy, but think of it this way. This time loop, like a circle, just can't appear out of nowhere. He had to have outside help. We know Hermione and Ron and Wormtail and Sirius, the ones who saw where Harry ended up with the Dementors, couldn't help. For one reason or another, they weren't strong enough, equipped enough, or ready to help him. We know it's not a random passerby that helped Harry. Why? Because when Harry travels back in the past, if a random passerby came by, used the Patronus, saved Harry from the Dementors, then Harry would have seen them. But maybe they were using like an invisibility cloak or something. Okay, student with the weird voice, listen to me for a second. You're walking down the street. You see a 5-year-old about to get hit by a car. You're going to dive in and save the 5-year-old from the car. You don't care if you're going to be seen. You just know the 5-year-old has to get out of the way. A random passerby in the road would not know to conceal him or herself. Their number one priority is making sure Harry does not get kissed by a Dementor, because that's a horrible first kiss. This person had all the essential information to know to save Harry and GTFO immediately. Who was this mysterious person? Why don't they ever appear when Harry travels back to the past? These questions are important, and I'm not going to explain that to you right now. I'm sorry, I'm a tease, like a coming soon sign on a new Chipotle. But if I explained any further detail into this theory, we would definitely run out of time. If you would like me to do another class on this theory, let me know. We'll spend the whole time dissecting who this person is, their motivations, why they don't appear. It's all up here, and I'll be glad to share that with you. But the main point I want to make with this theory, by far the longest and most intricate of the three, is this theory perfectly explains why they don't use the time turner ever again in this series. Whatever the cost was, whatever that hero that saved Harry the first time had to pay in order to do it, was just too great, too horrific, so horrible that they never want to touch the time turner again. And what was that cost? Like I said, that's for another class. In conclusion, I have 3 theories for why the time turner is never used before or after the point in Azkaban. 1, the butterfly effect. 2, possible side effects. 3, the effects caused by maintaining a time loop and the consequences of that paradox. Now, I would certainly be interested in hearing which theory is your favorite. Let me know what you personally believe went down, what theory seems most valid to you. Oh, that's the bell. Remember your extra credit assignment. How did Hagrid's father, who was not a giant, get with Hagrid's mother, who was a giant? Did they use a ladder or something? That is due by this Friday. Make sure you send that to me. Hey, settle down. I know you're rushing to Chipotle. Give me a second here. If you want to learn any more about the 3 theories, if you have any questions, please let me know. But I'm not going to hold you back anymore. Class dismissed.